Black vibes. It's the vibes. Yes, family. It's the blood clot vibes. It's the blood clot vibes. Yes, family. Large up yourself, big up yourself. It's your hostess with the mostest. Sila Shalom or Selector. Sila Shalom on the ones and twos. You know how we do. Yes, family.
Bittersweet Herbals, where the taste is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.
Run the rhythm.
Bittersweet Herbals, where the taste is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.
Yes, family, make sure to get your bitters. You done know. You know what I mean? As we move forward with the vibes, yeah? Just wanted to hop on. I ain't been on in a couple days. Came back from Miami. I'm in the Sunshine State. You know what I mean? Hit the beach, got me a tan out that joint. Brazil, I see you. VP man, I see you. Yaso Fitz, I see you. Peace to the righteous God. Java Messiah. Zechariah, Messiah King. Brazil, Messiah, salute. Peace to the Creator Gang in the building. You know what I mean? I ain't been on in a couple of days, so I just decided to get on. Just taking in all this information dealing with this war. You know what I mean? This Palestinian and Israel war, the Hamas war, and the Gaza Strip and all that. The sad thing about this situation is that you have black Hebrew Israelites, right? You got black Hebrew Israelites in the land of Israel, thinking that they got to be in the land of Israel based off the promise that God told Abraham. Now, it's interesting enough because you had the brother Ben Amin in the 60s, you know what I mean? He took the Exodus back to the east to Jerusalem, you know what I mean? You know, if I'm not mistaken, he had a vision from Gabriel or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. But I noticed that these cats be getting these visitations from these angels, making a claim to go back to the homeland or whatever. And I think the dude who made up the 12 tribes chart, I think he made up a claim like that, like the angel Gabriel told him to prophesy that or whatever. But these things to me be off, man. You know what I mean? Test the spirit, because lying spirits could deceive you instead of just believing them. So I believe a lot of these cats don't test the spirit. They just believe the spirit and obey and command. You know what I'm saying? But it's sad because this war in Palestine or Israel, that shit ain't got nothing to do with niggas. Hold on one second, family. Let me address this real quick. Hold on. Yes, family. So yeah, coming back to this war. You know what I mean? These wars going on in Israel ain't got shit to do with black folks. But you have a community of black Israelites in the land of Israel. You know what I mean? Shout out to Demona Israel. Shout out to all the Israelites out there under the deception of a false God. I have to say it and call it what it is. You know what I mean? The whole idea of black people, you know, being promised the land of Israel comes from a religious doctrine. Let me see, hold up. If I can pull out that, where God talk about that. I'm gonna do a cross comparison. We're gonna show in the scriptures where God promises the land. Genesis 17:8. Let me grab that real quick. You know what I mean? Peace to the righteous gods and goddesses, Naravinian goddesses. What's this is? Now watch this. Let's get this. We're gonna do a cross comparison real quick. Get the OAHSPE Bible. It's funny, all these people who was talking against the OAHSPE Bible, it seems like the people surrounding them, around them, is hitting me up, asking about the book, raising questions about the book. Like Mally said, if this was some Dr. Seuss book, niggas wouldn't be wasting their time. But truth is truth, my nigga. You know what I mean? You can't sugarcoat the truth. All right, let me see right here. Let me let the rhythm run while me I wait for. Right there. All right, let me get it. Like I said, everybody running to the land of Israel because they think that God promised them that land. And I'm going to show you that God never promised you the land of Israel. He never did. It was from a false God, Ayah. Because we're dealing with land. All this fighting in Palestine and Israel is about land. So we're going to address that right here. Find it real quick. It's a blood clot vibe. There we go. Right here. All right. Right here. Right blood cleat here. Now let me highlight this. I see the family chiming in. I see you, Sophie, Imam. I see a dreadful husband in the building. I see the Idrin. So I'm about to show in a minute, you know what I mean? Because like I say, all this fighting going on in Israel is based off of people thinking that they're the promised people of God, and then that the land of Canaan, later known as Israel, supposed to belongs to the Israelites or the Jews, the Hebrews, whatever name you want to place upon it. So we're going to read in Genesis where God promises Abraham land. You know what I mean? For a possession. And then after the Exodus, we see Joshua and the armies leading the Israelites into the promised land to possess it by bloodshed. Now, that's another thing. How can the Israelites or the Jews, Israelis, whoever you want to place them, how can they be mad at the Palestinians when the Israelites did the exact same thing in antiquity? They genocided the Canaanites for their land. Until this day, claim the land as their own. You feel me? But all this is under the auspice of a God. or this is under the auspice of a God. China, where it says sister Elizabeth Weaver. What's good, sis? Hey, I'm gonna have you shipped out. If not tomorrow, Monday. I got them pills coming. I ain't forget about you. Everybody who ordered the pills, they coming in tomorrow, and I can have y'all shipped out Monday. So I ain't forget about you, family. You know what I mean? You know how your boy do. Wonderful conduct business. All right, so check it. So let me go share my screen real quick. All right, so boom. So now when we go to Genesis right here, right? It's Genesis. Matter of fact, give me a 1 in the chat if I'm sounding good, if my mic is sounding straight. Give me a 1 in the chat if my mic is okay. I get that one out, continue on. I want to make sure. All right, got the ones. I see the ones coming in. Perfect. All right, so check it. Now, where should I start here? Let's get to the nitty gritty. Start here. Genesis 17:7. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee and their generations for an everlasting covenant to be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee. All right. Let's go to the next verse, 8. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. Now, this is the statement that got people thinking that, like, look, God promises the land of Canaan as an everlasting possession, right? Now, we already know that God is a deity. So this is a God speaking in behalf of himself and not speaking in behalf of the Most High. See, in the OAHSPE, the God speaking in behalf of the Creator, not on the strength of himself. So this is a God, a deity, an angel, a one-time man telling Abraham that I'm going to give you the land of Canaan as an everlasting possession, right? And God said unto Abraham, thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. So we're talking about the promised land, right? But how did the Israelites obtain the promised land? Through warfare. Let's go to Numbers real quick. Numbers chapter 1, right? Numbers chapter 1, verse 3. From 20 years old and upward, all that are able to go forth to war in Israel, thou and Aaron shall number them by their army. So now, we read a verse where God promises Abraham the promised land. We move forward a couple generations. Now we have Joshua, the Lord telling Joshua to prepare to go to war in order to what? Obtain the land of Israel. Now, how did the Israelites obtain the land? Through bloodshed. Let's get an example. 1 Samuel 15:3. You know we like to use that verse. See that? Samuel also said unto Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over this people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, and how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now keep in mind, this is the Lord instigating to the Israelites how the Amaleks did them dirty, right? Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have and spare them not, but slay both men and women, infant, suckling, ox, sheep, camel, and ass. right? So here we have now the promised land being now we have the promised land that was given to Abraham by God. Now you have the Israelites going to war under the same God, right, to obtain the promised land. Although the Creator said, "Thou shalt not murder and kill," we still see contradictions of the Creator of this God's word. For example, right? Get on my round two debate, right? This is the land of Canaan, it's the promised land. See that? Out of all the planet, God told you that this is your real estate. The Creator we serve says our inheritance is Etheria, right? Not a piece of real estate. Numbers 35:33. So ye shall not pollute the land. Now, what that land they talking about? This land. Now, we just read how Israel is going to decimate Amalek. But then this same God is telling you, you shall not pollute the land wherever ye are, which is the land of Canaan. For blood it defileth the land. So the spilling of blood defiles the land. Look how much blood is being spilled in the land of Palestine and Israel right now. But this is the same God who's telling you blood defiles the land, but at the same breath, he's telling you to go slay men, women, children, and infants, ox, sheep, cattle. The land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein. See that? You got all this genocide going on in the land of Israel as we speak. The land cannot be cleansed. It's over with for Israel. Blood defiles the land. These niggas over there knocking off children, chopping off babies' heads in the land of Israel. This is Hamas doing this. This is supposed to be Muslims. But keep in mind, they all under the same God. You remember there's only one God, right? The Muslims, the Ishmaelites believe in the prophets of God in the Bible. So that means they acknowledge the God of the Bible, which means that if it's one God, y'all got to accept the fact that this biblical God is the same God as Allah. Right? Although Jaja say, "Thou shalt not murder and kill," it says, but Exodus 21, and God spoke all these words, saying, Exodus 20:13, "Thou shalt not kill." Right there, this is God speaking. God spake, "Thou shalt not kill." But then when we come back to here, you have the Lord of hosts tell them to utterly destroy. Spare them not. Slay them. See that? Although he said here, "Thou shalt not kill." Why? Because blood, it defiles the land. But God forgot about that and told the Israelites to slay Amalek. Don't worry about that blood defiles the land. Don't worry about that anymore. Go slay them niggas. This is why we don't care about learning no Hebrew or none of the language, because your God is contradicting in his actions. In one breath, he's telling you, thou shalt not kill. In another breath, he's telling you to go kill infants. Did not Hamas kill infants? What does it say right here? What does it say? But slay both men, woman, infant, and suckling. Is not that what Hamas is doing right now? In the Gaza Strip? Ain't that what they doing? I heard that they done killed over 30 babies and decapitated some of the babies' heads. What type of mentality you got to have to run up on children and decapitate their head, trying to cut off the lineage? That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to cut off the bloodline. But keep in mind, all this is under the name of their God. Because when they out there slaying, they'll quickly say, Allahu Akbar, Allah is great. In the midst of warfare. See that? So according to the Bible, God promises the land of Abraham, the land of Canaan to Abraham. Then once the Israelites is encroaching in the land, the same God who told this is going to be your descendants' land, they obtained the land through bloodshed. While at the same time saying, blood, it defiles the land. The land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein. See that? So how can we trust the word of God when God has contradicted himself without an explanation? See that? So we read from the Bible that in order to obtain the promised land, it was bloodshed, right? Now let's go to the OAHSPE and see what OAHSPE say concerning Abraham and land. Now look, this is the OAHSPE, right? It's the OAHSPE Bible. What does it say? Abraham asked concerning lands. Now this whole ordeal is about land that they're fighting over. But Abraham in the OAHSPE Bible asked God concerning land. Now, if God is the same God that genocided his own people right here, genocided the Amaleks and his own people, let's see what the God of the OAHSPE say. Look what it say. God said, right? God said, and here, thus saith the Lord of hosts, right? And here, all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. So we already showed that the biblical God did not keep his word. But let's see what Abraham asked concerning lands, and let's see what God said. God said, right? Consider the way of your God. Did I go to the king and to the rich men and say, give me your sons and daughters? No, but I went to those who were despised by the king and the rich, and I said, come, and they came. So right here, even in this one statement, God is letting you know that I come to the rich man and say, give me your sons and daughters. Right? Y'all over here killing off the sons and daughters. God is saying no. Right? I'm not coming by that, the way of violence to obtain land or to inspire Abraham and his people to obtain land by violence. He said no. Verse 22, and when you came here, did I say, take the king's land? Stop. He's telling you, take the king's land. What are y'all doing here? What are y'all doing here? Y'all taking the land of the Amalekites, right? Y'all gathering y'all hosts. Y'all about to go to war. Numbers 20. Let me go back to Numbers. Numbers 1, 3, right? All that are able to go to war in Israel over what? Over land. You about to go to war over land. The OAHSPE says, and when you came here, did I say, take the king's land or the rich man's? No. But in the Bible, yes, you niggas is about to go to war and take the land of the Canaanites. But in the OAHSPE, the God of in the OAHSPE is saying no. He says, but I led you to that which was neglected and waste in the eyes of the king's people. And I said, this is your inheritance, right? This is your inheritance. So God is saying like, yo, I ain't give you the land of the king. I gave you the rural areas, the country part where the king doesn't even consider that shall be your inheritance. Like, okay, cool. We over here with it then, right? But look what it said. It is sufficient for you and your people to buy burying places for the dead, which shall not be disturbed, but neither buy nor sell any other land, right? Now here's the catcher. And after your people have improved the place, so now y'all established the land, and the king come against you. Now keep in mind, the Canaanites was already established when the kings or Israelites ran up in the land of Canaan. And what did the Israelites say when they landed up in the land of Canaan? I will have this land either by purchase or by battle. What did Numbers say? All that are able to go forth to war in Israel. So God is preparing Israel to go to war to take over the land of Canaan. But in the OAHSPE, it is saying here, neither by purchase nor by battle shall you inherit that which is Jehovah's. See that? But if you desire the land, talking to the king, then I will give it to you without money and without battle. Why is not the Israelites responding in this manner in their Bible? OAHSPE is showing you that the Israelite or those who serve the Creator is not going to fight over land. Even if they built up the land and the king came upon them to take the land, they're still not going in defense of the land. They say, nigga, without money, without battle, here, you can have it. We'll just move forward, move on. See that? But according to the Bible, Y'all geared up and went to war for the land of Israel, spilling blood in the land of Israel. Blood defiles the land, by the words of your God. But he tells you to go kill. The OAHSPE is exposing the false gods, and it's showing you who true God is. So who are these Israelites going into the land slaying when, according to the OAHSPE, God talking to Abraham like, yo, you don't have to do none of that. Right? Let's read that verse again. And after your people have improved the place, and the king come against you, saying, I will have this land either by purchase or by battle. You shall say, no, neither by purchase nor by battle shall you inherit that which is Jehovah's. See that? See that? The Creator owns this land. You don't own nothing. But if you desire the land, if you want this land, then I will give it to you without money and without battle. That melts away the whole idea that God has a promised land. See that? So if the OAHSPE is letting you know that God is not concerned with a promised land, if your enemy come up against you, migrate out, get up out of there. So the question need to be asked, who is this fighting for God? And who is this God fighting for land? Telling you to fight for land when the OAHSPE is showing you that spill no blood for land. And it came to pass that my chosen shall be driven from place to place where I will lead them, and they shall make the wastelands blossom like gardens, and the desert yield ample harvest. For they shall dig wells and till the soil, and prove to the nations of the earth the glory of my work. So see that? They're going to be migrating, moving from place to place if kings try to come up against them. They're not going to battle and going to war. All these Israelites you hear about going to war for their God is not following the Creator. They're under a false God. So the false God that we expose is your Most High. This is the one you serve. This is the one who you think is coming back to do battle with the nations. The idea of a second coming and, the UFOs coming to do battle with the nations, y'all under the auspice of a false God. Look at this. And they shall be cut down, driven away, and scattered, but I will come and gather them together. Their places shall be inherited by adulterers and worshipers of strange gods. And that's what's going on now. That's what's going on in the land of Israel. In the land of Israel, what's going on is that their places shall be inherited by adulterers and worshipers of strange gods. Gods is Elohims. Keep in mind, we don't worship gods. We worship Creator. A god is a deity, and a deity is an idol. So you are worshiping idols, Israelis, Muslims. Y'all are worshiping idols ignorantly to your knowledge. Because if you worship a god, you worship a deity, and then you worship an idol. Who will build mighty temples? But my people shall not build that which endures in stone, wood, or iron, for they shall go from place to place. Let me highlight that. But they shall go from place to place proclaiming me, Jehovah, and my works, creation. But where they have been, there shall be nothing left on the earth to show their labor. This is why people don't believe these biblical characters existed, or the ones who serve the Creator, because the ones who serve Creator, they're not documented in history books. I'm at with it. You dig? Let me come back from my spot. Right here. Right? And keep in mind, this is a prophecy about the descendants of Abraham. They want to talk about prophecy in the book. This is a prophecy. This verse is a prophecy. And they shall be cut down. Who shall be cut down? The faithless, those who serve the Creator, and driven away and scattered. Driven away and scattered because they're not going to go to war. They're going to leave. Just like when the angel came to Joseph and Joseph fled into Egypt before Horeb could get to him, it's the same type of thing. When the king's people come against the faithless who serve the Creator, the guardian angels is going to get wind of them shit like, yo, y'all niggas need to get up, and then within a day or two, y'all need to be out of here because the enemies is coming to take this land. So by the time the enemy come, the city is vacant. Everybody that migrated and got on. See that? Those who serve the Creator don't go to war. So all those people in your Bible who go into warfare with God is not serving the Creator, but that deity. Again, and they shall be cut down, driven away, and scattered, but I will come and gather them together. Their places shall be inherited by adulterers and worshippers of strange gods, who will build mighty temples. But my people shall not build that which endures in stone, wood, or iron, for they shall go from place to place proclaiming me and my works. But where they have been, there shall be nothing left on earth to show their labors. Right? Check this one out. But when I have taken them across all the earth, don't they say that we will scatter into the four corners? And they are scattered like the dust before the wind. And no man can say, here is a nation of the children of Abraham. Don't they say that today? Oh, man, Abraham ain't real. The Israelites is fake. They ain't real. The OAHSPE is showing you how the idea for you believing them not being real came about. Again, but when I have taken them across all the earth, and they are scattered like dust before the wind, and no man can say, here is a nation of the children of Abraham. Lo, I will raise up my voice for them, even I, the God of heaven and earth, true God. And in that day, the adulterers and worshippers of strange gods will be on the wane. Their temples of stone and mortar will be standing. But a voice shall go up from the whole earth, even from the remote nations of the earth, saying, what about those who laid the foundation of the temple of one God, even Jehovah? Those who were the sons and daughters of Abraham. Oh, if only my eyes could have seen the fakeness of that day. See, that you hear about the stories of these Israelites, but they're denied historically, like, oh, these people never existed. OAHSPE is letting you know, just like the same way we have the cities today. You got your great cities downtown. You got the cities, you got records, but then you got those living in the countryside who don't have no documents and records like the city. So when they pass on and move on, it's as if they never existed, although they did. So it's the same thing with Abraham and some of these patriarchs of the scriptures. They lived a simple life, like a country life. So historically, their document wouldn't be documented like great cities and nations, right? But the way these things are revealed is because it's called spirit communion. These things are recorded. They're documented in the libraries of heaven, right? Let's get that, to show that the way these things come back about is because they're documented. Let's see. We got documents. Jehovah said, God shall cause a record to be kept in heaven of his dominion and those of his lords. So the God talking to Abraham, he kept a record during his reign. Just the same way if you wanted to research the records of President Obama when he was in office, the documents are there. You just got to go get it. So the OAHSPE is saying that in the heavens, there's documents just like we have on earth. And if you want to know something, you go to those documents. So how did we get the story of Abraham in 1881, which is supposed to have been documented thousands of years previous? You know why? Because there's records kept. Simple as that. Jehovah said, God shall cause a record to be kept in heaven of his dominions and those of his lords. And he and they shall enjoin it upon their successors forever to keep a like record. So there's documented records in the heavens, the same way there's documented records on earth. And in time of my harvest, every 400 years, a copy of these records shall be taken up to my Etherian kingdoms and filed with my Orion chiefs and archangels in the roadway of the travel of the great serpent of solar system for the deliberation regarding the progression and management of the inhabitants of the earth and her heaven. See that? So it's big shit going on outside of our simple lives. Hold on for a second, family. Run the rhythm. So again, things are documented in the heavens. You know what I mean? Things are documented. This is how we get revelations to us. Because some people try to be slick and say, well, the book was written in 1881. How is he referencing something 10,000 years ago? The same way that Moses wrote the book, right? According to biblical scholars. Let me take this off real quick. According to the biblical scholars, right? According to the Bible world, theology, Moses wrote the first 5 books. But you're going to scrutinize the OAHSPE and John Newbro writing a Revelation in 1881, referencing things thousands of years ago, when Moses was referencing things thousands of years ago before his time as well. Did not Moses write of Abraham? How do we know about Abraham in the Bible? Through Moses' hand. Who came first, Moses or Abraham? Abraham did. So Moses is referencing something thousands of years prior to his time. So the same bias that they try to use against the OAHSPE, it hits him right in the face every time. Every time. So that don't even make sense bringing that shit up no more. You know? Some good buddy. You know how we do. All right, so check it, right? Go to this last chapter. You know what I mean? Let's go to the last verse. Right here, right? Look what it said. God said, "Be wise, O man, in the words of your God. My records do not come up out of grounds, nor from the book of records." Now, right here, he says, "My records." Remember what I read right here? Bring it over here. My records. What did Jehovah say? Jehovah said, God shall cause a record to be kept in heaven, right? God shall cause a record to be kept in heaven. What did it state? God said, "Be wise, O man, in the words of your God. My records do not come up out of the ground, nor from the books of mortals. God shall cause a record to be kept in heaven." That's why it says that mine don't come up out of, he says, my records do not come up out of the ground, nor from the books of mortals. Why? God shall cause a record to be kept where? In heaven. He's keeping count up there, not down here. So he's simultaneously recording what's going on earth and what's going on with his kingdom. The revelation of the OAHSPE is the document records of the heavenly kingdom. So while you read about Moses on earth and the Israelites, we're reading about the angels simultaneously, what was going on at that same time period with the angels. See that? My records do not come up out of the ground, nor from the books of mortals. What did the next verse say? I open my heavenly libraries. What did the OAHSPE say over here? Huh? Jehovah said, God shall cause a record to be kept in heaven of his dominion and those of his lords, and they shall enjoin it upon their successors forever to keep a like record. These are the libraries. These are the records of the libraries. Look. And in the times of my harvest, a copies of these records shall be taken up to my Etherian kingdoms and what? Filed with my Orion chiefs and archangels in the travel of the great serpent. So this is what's going on here. So when it says I open my heavenly records, he's referring to these records. My heavenly libraries, he's referring to these records that are documented and filed among the Orion chiefs. That's like saying the documents that are filed in the library of the Congress among government. That's what it's saying here. People are so simple-minded to wonder where these revelations come from, not knowing that there is a whole system in order above your head dealing with angels, archangels, Orion chiefs. That's like saying dealing with government, Congress, senators. This is what we're dealing with. This is the heavenly government, right? So when we read about these revelations and where these revelations come from, that's where it's coming from, the heavenly records. The same way you got records on earth is the same way they got records in heaven. As above, so below. It really is. As above, so below. It's not that difficult. It's really not that difficult to understand. So So like I said, coming back to this Palestinian war, this Israelite war, this is a war between religion. The Israelis, the land of Israel, represent Torah. Hamas and all them other cats, they represent Islam, they represent Quran. You see what I'm saying? This is a war between Jibril's descendant and Luamung descendants. They're behind this. This is on their watch. Jibril, this is on his watch. That war going on in Palestine is under their watch. Even if they're on a redemptive path of righteousness right now, after the wrong that they did, they still are responsible for those genocides and those warfare. They're responsible for all those souls, all those children that died in that war. They're responsible for their souls and their redemption. That's why the creators say, shed no blood. Because something that come with that, right? Watch this. That's why Jah say don't do this. Don't engage in these things. Now, true God runs a kingdom. And in the kingdom, you have people under your rulership. Now, some of your people under your rulership may not always be in agreements with you as king or as president. And they may deflect, right? Book of Jehovah, chapter 8, verse 3. Do not think, O angels, that your resurrection of your heirs, meaning your descendants, that and their descendants who come up out of the earth is an easy matter and of steady progress, devoid of mishaps and woeful darkness. So they're letting you know that during your reign as king, as God, as president, it's not going to be a steady progress. You're going to have some trial and error. You may enter president and everything may be peaches and cream. 2 years down the line, a war may break out in the east. Now you got to go assist in that warfare. But that wasn't part of the original plan. That's why it says, devoid of mishaps and woeful darkness, right? Stephanie, is it wrong to learn constellation magic? If you exercising it for righteousness, you're good. You know what I mean? Like, the OAHSPE say, if you call on the angels for earthly things, you're going to be answered by spirits for earthly matter. So you can get rich as hell if there's a lot of wealthy people that call on deities and voodoo and priests for earthly riches, and they get granted. You know what I mean? But with everything, there's a reward or a consequence to it. You know what I mean? Because somebody may give you everything you want. Now you in debt to them. This is what this like these contracts, these covenants that they talk about, blood sacrifice, these blood covenants to get the music industry. You know what I mean? You sell your soul, and now your soul is in the hands of, your opposition. But if you're doing it for righteousness, so good. Whatever you do, let it be for the betterment of people and others and for yourself. Now, the angels under you shall become at times rebellious and defiant, disregarding your laws and decrees, and they shall desert your heavenly places and go down to the earth in millions, hundreds of millions, and they shall drive away Ashars, which are guardian angels, and then assume guardianship over mortals. You don't even know that you have a guardian angel. Every human being on the planet has a guardian angel, right? And your guardian angel can inspire you. But look, this is how you know how you inspired. But they shall develop no righteousness under the sun, and they will inspire mortals to war and destruction. And these angels will themselves take to war and evil throughout the place of your heaven. So now when we look at the Palestinian war, right? Get some of them pictures. Israel War 23, right? Let's look at some of these pictures, right? While we read scripture. This is what's going on in the land right now. War. Big warfare going. Missiles dropping. People's losing their lives. This is what's going on right now before our face. They say the revolution will not be televised. Well, that's a goddamn lie. This shit been televised, been going on. Right? What the OAHSPE say? Right here. But they shall develop no righteousness under the sun, and they will inspire mortals to war and destruction. This is what we see here, war and destruction. See? You don't know that these inspirations are driven from unseen forces. You have angels driving these men. Unseen to the naked eye. OAHSPE is revealing to you the unseen causes. But they shall develop no righteousness under the sun, and they will inspire mortals to war and destruction. See that? These are the angels inspiring us to war, while the angels themselves war. And these angels will themselves take to war and evil throughout the place of your heavens. So after you get killed in warfare and you still carry that hate and contention for your enemy, you moving in spirit within the same regions, just like that. Look what it's saying. With foul gases of atmosphere shall they make weapons of war. This is the weapons of war right here. These are the weapons of war. You see that? Foul gases. Gases atmospheric. They'll harness these gases, make them into weapons. Now they're dropping bombs, decimating their own people. What did the OAHSPE say? With foul gases of atmosphere, they shall make weapons of war. And this is exactly what you see here. Weapons of war made out of atmospheric gas. Explosions. See that? And places of torment with these elements shall they make suffocating hells in order to cast one another into chaos. See that? OAHSPE is showing you the nature. Suffocating hells. See that? See the gases? Suffocating. You can't breathe that in. That's suffocating if you're in that environment. And all that gas is unbreathable. You can't breathe in that. Look at that. You can't breathe in that air. What did the OAHSPE say? And places of torment with these elements shall they make suffocating hells in order to cast one another into chaos. Look at that. This is what's going on in the land. These wars are inspired by the angels. And look at this. Look at this. And mortals slain in war shall be born in spirit into chaos on the battlefield. Bag drop. Look at the babies. Look at the people. They died in the midst of warfare. But what is their spiritual condition? And mortals slain in war shall be born in spirit into chaos on the battlefield. Huh? Chaos? So these people, they don't even understand the nature of the spirit of their dead kinsmen right here. They don't even comprehend or have an understanding that spiritually that they're in chaos. We're the only ones over here in the West reading from the OAHSPE Bible, revealed from the Creator, revealing to us the spiritual condition of those died in warfare. Your Bible don't explain this. That's why we always raise the question, what is the spiritual condition of those who die in warfare according to the Bible? Nigga, we can read it from the OAHSPE because the OAHSPE is a spiritual book. What did the OAHSPE say? And mortals slain in war shall be born in spirit into chaos on the battlefields. You got children being born into chaos. You got elderly people being born into chaos on the battlefield. Look at this baby right here. Born into chaos and darkness. What about the babies? They didn't even have a chance to grow. Look at the expression of, look at that. Look at the pain in these people's face, yo. And that goes for every country and nationality. Look at the pain. Look at the children. Look at that. What did the OAHSPE say? And mortals slain in war shall be born in spirit into chaos on the battlefield. Let's read the next line. This is the sad part. And entering the spirit world in chaos, they shall not know that they are dead. Let's stop right there. They shall not know they are dead. So just imagine your ass done died. Oh. Tikva. My screen ain't showing. I got it. So this is what we're doing. We're bouncing back from here to here. We're bouncing back from here to here. So I was just showing you some of the pictures. Let me come back and show some of the pictures. You know what I mean? You got the babies dying. See that? You got the babies dying. You got the elderly dying, the young folk. Everybody getting slain in this war. What does it say? And mortals slain in the war shall be born in spirit into chaos on the battlefield. See that? That's the example. Just to backtrack for a second since I had a screen up. That's the example. Mortals shall be born in chaos. See that? They're mourning the death of this individual, but they don't even understand the nature of the spirit of the individual. If they understood that this spirit was in chaos, their mourning will be even 10 times more than what it is. They lost the flesh, but they don't understand the condition of the soul or the spirit at the time of death. Look at the confusion. Look at the pain. The hate. And mortals slain in war shall be born in spirit into chaos on the battlefield. And look, they shall not know that they are dead as to earth life. Look at that. Look at that. So these motherfuckers crossing over dying, they don't even know that they dead. They hop out their body and just keep moving and running and moving. They still thinking they in the flesh. Huh? What they say? They shall not know that they are dead as to earth life. So while they holding up their bodies, the spirits of these people are still moving. In the regions wherever they got murdered at, they moving, they running, they fleeing in spirit. That's just like if shots ring out. If you hear shots ring out, you running. If you get hit, you're going to try to get up and continue to run to avoid more shots. But say you get hit and you die right there, your spirit going to come out your body and you moving. You may be running and chasing for about 5 days before you realize what happened to yourself. Because you're conscious. See, when you die, you're still alive. Because the flesh is just the physical part, but that which activates the flesh is your angelic part, your atmospheric, your etheric part. We call spirit. Your angelic, your body, your spiritual body looks exactly like your physical body because the spirit grew up in the flesh, and the imprint of the spirit is that which is the flesh. That's why all the angels look like people, because they grew up in their body, in their physical body. When they shed their physical body, their true self of who they are is spirit. And that's with everything organic in life. You got spiritual trees, spiritual grass. OAHSPE talk about all that. But look at this. They shall not know that they are dead, but shall keep fighting right and left. And enemies shall take enemies in these heavens. See that? Enemies shall take enemies. So these niggas is beefing. So enemy, you get captured. You get captured, you become a hostage. See the hostages? Enemies shall take enemies in these heavens. Enemies shall take enemy on earth, as above, so below. It's people who done got kidnapped, took from their family. Look at that. Hostages. This is what's going on in the East right now. Warfare. Enemies shall take enemies in these heavens and cast them in places of torment, which they shall have built. And they shall know shall know no peace or wisdom. And that's what you see right here. Ain't no peace or wisdom going on right now in the East. Look at that. So imagine you at the crib and niggas coming through your house doing this, gunning your house down. The results of warfare. Yeah, man, this shit real, yo. This is the genocidal act of these false gods in real time. What did the Bible say? Numbers 1:3. For 20 years old and upward, all that are able to go to war in Israel. Huh? Let's pull up some Israeli soldiers. Some Israeli soldiers. See that? See how that worked? See how that worked? What the Bible say? From 20 years old and upward, all that are able to go forth to war in Israel, thou and Aaron shall number them by their armies. Look at that. What God you serving? You serving a God that's preparing you to go to warfare, but the spiritual conditions of those who slain in war. And mortals slain in war shall be born in spirit into chaos on the battlefield. While the Bible is telling you, all that are able to go forth to war in Israel. Hey, go Israel. What your false God is preparing you for is this. To be born in spirit into chaos on the battlefield. That's what you're preparing. Your God is preparing you to be born in spirit and chaos once your ass gets slain in battle. Because your ass is definitely going to get slain. There's always casualties. I ain't never seen a war where both sides ain't lose nobody. You got great casualties already on both sides of this Gaza war. See that? They up in the thousands on both sides. See those slain in war? Born in spirit into chaos on the battlefield. This is what your God is preparing you to do. Die in battle so you could be born in spirit, in chaos. If you serve the Creator, you wouldn't even participate. You wouldn't participate. But you've been deceived by these false gods for thousands of years that you willingly render your service to them, ignorantly. And they know this. They know this. Even got the female soldiers going to war. See that? See that? That's what's going on. Just imagine a nigga run up on you and you're feeling, spray you down. Look at that. See the black man right there? See that? Yeah. Christian, Arab, and Israel joining armies in growing numbers. It don't matter if you black. It don't matter if you white. It don't matter if you Chinese. If you out there spilling blood in warfare, what did the OAHSPE say? Your ass going to be born in spirit into pine oil heaven. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get the pine oil heaven. Since we talking about pine oil heaven, let's get that. Because that's exactly where these motherfuckers is headed. Pine oil heaven.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
That's where you headed, boy. To pine oil heaven.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
That's where you headed, boy.
So if they don't stop the warfare, they are definitely headed to pine oil heaven. See what I'm saying? These soldiers headed to pine oil heaven. It don't matter. If you're black, if you're white, you're Chinese, if you're from the Congo, if you was a Ifa, if you was a Yoruba, if you were a goddamn Buddhist, it don't matter what your nationality is. Your ass gonna be born in spirit into pine oil heaven. That's where you niggas is headed if y'all niggas don't get this shit right.
To pine oil heaven.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
That's where you headed, boy. To pine oil heaven.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
That's where you headed, boy. To pine oil heaven.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
That's where you headed, boy. To pine oil heaven.
And that's exactly where you niggas is headed if you don't get it right. So yeah, man. Seems they are fighting for the land because the drudges that are influencing have bounded themselves to this world. Yeah, man. So they being influenced spiritually, physically, environmental wise. It's all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? All messed up. It's going down and it's looking ugly. Yeah, that pine oil heaven, Iman. You already know what it is. You already know what it is. Like I said, you got Israelites running back to the land. We just read from the OAHSPE how Abraham was told how to deal with land. So why would God change his mind later on down the line and go tell these niggas to kill the people off? It's not the same God. See, the Bible don't distinguish which gods are talking. There's different gods talking at different times. So every time you hear God talking, they think that's the Most High every time. For the most part. That's right, Tickle. Pine oil heaven. Let's run it. Let's run the pine oil heaven.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
That's where you headed, boy. To pine oil heaven.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
That's where you headed, boy. To pine oil heaven.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
That's where you headed, boy. To pine oil heaven.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
That's where you headed, boy. To pine oil heaven.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
That's where you headed, boy. To pine oil heaven.
You better get it right. We're gonna have to deliver you niggas from pine oil heaven. You don't have to deliver you niggas, man. You don't want that. Book of Thoughts from the Jehovah. The spirits of the newly dead are captured and kept in ignorance of Jehovah and his vast creation, and made to bow down in adoration and worship to the false Lord or false God. And these in turn, being in contiguity to mortals, inspire them to the same worship which fits them at the time of their death to fall as slaves into the dominion of him whom they worship. So all those Israelis dying for the God of Israel and Hamas dying for Allah, right? These Hamas niggas ain't playing. Look at these boys. These niggas ain't playing 3 days ago. These are shorties. Look at that. Females gearing up to go to war. What does it say here? The wars in heaven have inspired mortals to war on earth, so that all around the world, unending battles are going on. See that? That's what's going on. It said the wars in heaven have inspired the wars on earth. See that? Hamas surprised. Look at this nigga. Look at this nigga. Look at this idiot. Look at this dum-dum. The hell you over there doing in war? Defending some shit that ain't got to do with you. They probably look at you like a nigga too out there, just like they look at us over here. I done seen videos of the black Christian women out there, the Jews making fun of them, making racial slurs. So we're not going to pretend like that shit ain't going on out there. But look at this nigga. Ready to go slay in defense of his God. The wars in heaven have inspired the wars on earth, so that all around the world, unending battles are going on. Look at that. And again, and those who are slain on earthly battlefields are born into spirit in chaos. Bad drop. See that? That's a precept to the verse. Let me get that. That's a precept to this shit. That's a precept to this. Right here. It's a precept to this right here. Right there. Boom. What we read earlier. Boom. That coincides with Thor. What Thor say? And those who are slain on the earthly battlefield are born into spirit in chaos. And mortals slain in war shall be born in spirit into chaos on the battlefield. So they go a precept. Book of Jehovah chapter 8 verse 6 is a precept to the book of Thor, son of Jehovah chapter 1 verse 15. We got two precepts talking about how y'all ass gonna perish in chaos and spirit when you die on the battlefield. How many Israelites are ready to go to war with Esau? How many Israelites thinking that Yahshua coming back to go to battle with Esau? Understanding that these spiritual conditions hang over your head, why would a righteous God lead you in that way? Why would I lead you down to disaster and destruction, knowing that these spiritual conditions hang over your head? Those who serve the Creator never picked up a sword to go to war in defense of a God. And those who are slain on earthly battlefields are born into spirit in chaos, not knowing they are dead as to earth life. And so they linger on the battlefield, still battling imaginary foes. See that? So when your ass cross over and perish for warfare, okay, make sure more. Your ass gonna be running around in spirit battling, thinking you still fighting. Thinking you still fighting. Right. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Foul gases of atmospheria, shall they make weapons of war? Huh? Huh? With foul gases of atmospheria shall they make weapons of war. What that is? Foul gases of atmospheria. Bad. Destructive. War. Death and destruction. Just imagine these spirits. Just imagine the people in the surrounding villages hearing the explosions, looking out their windows, seeing buildings tumbling down. Look at this shit here. This what's going on in the land. Just imagine you got to wake up or you survive the next morning and you come out and shit looking like this. See that? And this is the physical side of this shit. It's not even the spiritual side. Huh? With foul gases of atmosphere shall they make weapons of war. Look at this. Look at the skin panic. Yeah, yo, this shit going down, family. Look at this. These niggas got on slippers, my nigga. Slippers. We don't even rock slippers unless it's summertime. We on the beach. These niggas is in a war zone with slippers on. I seen one nigga with no shoes on, barefoot. These niggas, look at the slippers they got on. This is what they got to walk with. You know, I got on some Timbs right now. You know what I mean? Prepared for if I had to step. These niggas got on slippers, my nigga. You know, if you slip on one of the rocks and you know what I mean? You hit your pinky toe or some shit, hit that nerve, how that shit'll hurt. These niggas out here in slippers searching for people. Look at his foot. Look at that shit. See that? It's a nail right there. It's dead. Get him. And he got to move forward. He can't stop. Yeah, yo, this shit real. Just the little things, the minute things we overlook. Yeah, man, it's just sad though, family. Give me a one in the chat if you get this understanding that we do not follow a God of war and destruction. And your biblical God has been proven to be a God of war and destruction. It's a blood clot vibe. And the crazy thing is, like, that whole region has always been at warfare. Keep in mind, you got the Ukraine war going on right up the street from them niggas. You know what I mean? And you got Afghanistan, Pakistan, all them niggas, you know, stay in conflict. But then you want to run back to the conflict talking about this the chosen land. We the chosen people of God, and we going back to the chosen land. Ain't no chosen land. Let me show you what the chosen land is in the OAHSPE, man. We got to wake our people up. They got to get the hell up out of Israel because they following a false narrative. This is your promised land right here from Creator. This is what Creator said for you. Let's start right here. Get to the nitty. I gave him a corporeal body, meaning man and woman, so that he may learn corporeal things. And I made death so that he could rise in the firmament and inherit my Etherian worlds. That's the scope. That's the scope. This verse, this one sentence sums up the totality of your existence. I made death because death, nigga, is a part of life. You're going to die. So people want to know what happens when we die. Where do we go? Is there life after death? I made death so that he could rise in the firmament and inherit my Etherian worlds. Why you niggas is worrying about Palestine and the land of Canaan when the Creator said, I have a whole Etherian region for you to inherit, the Etherian worlds. And then he said, the earth is for you too. You're not restricted nowhere. You can go anywhere on this planet and live. You have free will. You have liberty to do that, right? So he said, I made this so you may inherit my Etherian worlds. So we inherited the Etherian worlds, right? Meaning that these are the worlds that exist outside of the earth and its atmosphere. Put up a picture of galaxies. Each galaxy is a star, and stars have habitable and uninhabitable areas. This is just an example of these planes of existence outside of the earth and its atmosphere, these etheric worlds. And these worlds are inhabited just like the earth is inhabited with water, animal, ice, Arctic regions, tropic regions. Throughout the cosmos, you have habitable and uninhabitable regions, but you're going to explore each and every one of these regions. Each and every one of these stars right here, your ass gonna get a chance to explore it because you have eternity to explore this shit. There is no ending to creation. There is no ending to you as the individual. Creator gave you everlasting life, but you're gonna start on this corporeal flesh realm right here that we on, and then progress through the atmosphere. And at graduation, we're gonna rise into the Etherian firmaments and investigate these regions. That's where we headed, but you niggas is worrying about this. You worrying about this. This is the chosen land, people. This is the land that God promised Abraham that's looking like this right now. Spirits floating around in chaos is the promised land right now. This is the promised land deception. You've been deceived to think that this is the promised land and they warring over the land. While in the OAHSPE, it says, nigga, your inheritance is this when you move forward in spirit. I'm not just limiting you to the earth plane. See that? My Etherian worlds. So we're not worrying about Jerusalem. We're not worrying about a Canaanite land and a Palestine land, and the chosen this and the chosen that. No, it's like school. So in school, you have a high school, and within the high school, you have different classrooms. So one classroom is named Africa, another classroom is named America, another classroom is named Israel. And one of the teachers told you niggas that, yo, the classroom of Israel is the best classroom. You don't need to learn nothing else outside of the classroom of Israel. So you negate the classroom of Africa, you negate the classroom of America, and y'all all run to the classroom of Israel, and you teacher deceiving you, telling you that you don't have to learn nothing outside of this classroom. Everything you need is here for eternity. And you niggas thinking that the promised classroom of Israel is all you need to know, not knowing that you're subjected to one class within the high school where there's other colleges and high school outside of that, but you've been deceived to think that this classroom is the only classroom, the classroom of Israel. And it's the same concept with your religious views. You've been taught to believe that the land of Israel is the promised land of God. In your Bible, it says that God is coming down out of heaven in a tabernacle, and he's going to establish himself on earth. And those who enter the kingdom is going to be one with him, but those who are without are going to be the sorcerers, whoremongers, and murderers, and liars. That's how the book ends in the Bible. That's your end game in the Bible. Your end game is to resurrect, be in a kingdom located on earth, surrounded by whoremongers. That's what the Bible says. While in the OAHSPE, it says we're going to rise to inherit the Etherian worlds outside of the earth and its atmosphere. That's like saying we're going to graduate from high school and we're going to continue to go to other colleges and get further education. That's what the OAHSPE is saying. The Bible is saying you're going to remain in this high school, and all you need to know is within this high school. Outside of this high school, there's a whoremongers and murderers. That's what the Bible is saying, in layman terms. In layman terms. You dig? Oh, Shalom. So yeah, yo, this shit real. Think about that. All the people that, you know, they have valuables in their house. Look at us right now. We on the internet, we chomped in. Just imagine if we was in them conditions. All that shit stopped. No more It Survived. No more Create a Gang. No more internet. No more YouTube. You just out there in the streets, hearing bombs dropping over here, seeing dead bodies as you move around, going where you don't even know where you're going. Think about it. If niggas started dropping bombs right now in your city, right where you at, motherfuckers is moving in on foot in the city, slaying motherfuckers. And if a bomb drop right next door, shit explode, electricity go out, flood water, your toilet, your bathtub overflowing, you ain't gonna stay in this house. That's an unsanitized condition. So where you gonna go? Where you gonna go? You gonna leave the house and your ass gonna be walking around in no man's land, just like them. See that? That shit real, yo. Shit, that's why your faith gotta be sealed in the Creator, because you don't know what's to come. Anything can happen, yo. Anything can happen. The same shit happening over there can happen over here. Even the OAHSPE prophesies that the fall of the U.S., the fall of America in the OAHSPE is prophesied. It says that America will not be attacked from without. We ain't got to worry about missiles coming over here dropping. We ain't got to worry about that. One reason we ain't got to worry about it because the way America is set up is the greatest fortress. It's the greatest defense fortress because we're protected by two oceans. Let me pull up a map. Let me show you how America is the greatest fortress when it comes to warfare. Show you why. Because we protected our water. That's why. They can't fuck with us. All right. So let me show you a map. Let me show you. I'm going to show you why America is the coldest country and will never be attacked from without. Right? Hold on. Y'all see this map, right? Now, take a look at America, right? Now take a look at Africa, Europe, and Asia. All that's war going on is right up in this region right here. But if you notice, this region is all connected. See that? So if Europe wanted to go to war with Africa and they wanted to throw missiles, bam, that shit could be over a couple of minutes, right? Israel is right here. All this war going on. Niggas from Asia could migrate into Israel. Niggas from Africa could. All this is connected, a landmass. But let's go to America. Now, if we had to go to war, we protected by waters on both sides, which means we could intercept any missile coming from the Atlantic or coming from the Pacific. So if the Japanese or the Chinese or whoever wanted to throw a missile over the Pacific, we'll be alerted. All right, bam. We'll intercept those missiles over the Pacific and likewise with the Atlantic. That's why we're the greatest fortress, because we defended by water on both sides. But the OAHSPE prophesies that the way America gonna get touched, it's not gonna be from out without, meaning it's not gonna be from these countries over here. Ain't no country coming to fuck with us. None of it. Because of our fortress. And then we got some missiles and equipment that we, you know what I'm saying, we got some deadly shit too when it comes to that. But according to the OAHSPE, America is going to be attacked from within. 9/11 was a perfect example of that. It was an inside job. That's how the Americas is going to get hit. That's how they're going to fall. They're going to be attacked from within. And 9/11 was the first example, not the first, but the major one of an attack within our region. So that's how it's going to happen. So yeah, so that's how we're the greatest fortress right there. Yes, family. It's a blood clot vibes. Peace, love, and light. See the fam chiming in. See ya. It's the vibes. Right. Arm to the T. You know what I mean? So you may have over time state wars. You know, you may have state wars. I remember in Georgia, it was a beef going on with Tennessee over the borderline. I think it was a lake or a river. I think it was a lake. And they were trying to say Georgia was trying to claim the lake and Tennessee was trying to claim the lake. It was like on the borderline. And there was some riffraff for a minute over that shit. They done settle it, but I remember that little riffraff that was going on. So it was like a Tennessee versus Georgia thing over this lake. So the civil wars could break out like that. They could be state wars. See what I'm saying? It may not be during our time, but it may come a time where the eternal conflict could get to the point where Tennessee politics ain't fucking with Atlanta politics, and you see what I'm saying? Each county got a basically their own army, SWAT teams, and you know what I mean, special forces within the state. So you know what I mean? Yeah, yo, this shit deep, yo. This shit deep. The Lord of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, "Surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against it." Yeah, yo, this shit deep. Shit run deep. They don't want no smoke from the OAHSPE. Peace, God. Yeah, man, it's just, you know what I mean? And keep in mind, like, the debates was only because we was doing Battle of the Holy Books. That was the approach. That's what, you know, that's what made the ruckus in the name, but we don't be sitting around here thinking about no debates with niggas, to be honest. The OAHSPE is so vast and there's so much to ponder and dwell on and research and pull out pen and paper, and you know what I mean? We ain't thinking about none of that. We done exposed that shit. We blew past that shit. Niggas still niggas ain't those who serve the Bible ain't even came to the conclusion that they God is an angel. I showed they God is an angel. They book tells them that they God is an angel, but they overlook it. They don't get it because they don't know what an angel is. They just all they know that an angel means messenger. That's all they know. Who's carrying the message? A man or a woman? So at the end of the day, an angel is a person. It's a man or a woman. So your God is a man. Who you claim to be the Most High, who created the heavens and the earth in 7 days, is a man sitting on the throne. That's the greatest deception ever. That's worse than Satan saying he didn't exist. You know the greatest lie they say that the devil played that he didn't exist? What's worse than that is you believing that the creator is a man sitting on a throne. Don't nothing get no worse than that. Don't nothing get no worse than that. That's the greatest deception ever. That is Satan. Deception. And you who believe the Bible, because I done heard every last one of you, all y'all Hebrew Israelites, from Sinetta channel to the other regular channels, IUIC, ISUPK, all y'all niggas, GOCC, HOI, all y'all niggas profess this God in the Bible to be your Most High sitting on the throne. And every last one of you niggas is deceived. That's why Tazoriak backed out the bait. First, he couldn't comprehend the higher light. That's one thing. because he's stuck on the word Thor. They stuck on the word Apollo. These are just fucking names, my nigga. You ain't even understanding the context of what's being written. Oh, it's a comic book. No, nigga. If we're going to play those games, your Bible starts off with the 7 24-hour day creation. 144 hours is 6 days. That's how many, that's how long it take you. That's comic book shit. If you want to talk comic book shit, your God sitting on the throne, floating above the deep and creating the heavens and the earth in 7 24-hour periods. Or 6 24-hour periods, because he rested for 24 hours. He rested for a whole day. Because I showed how yom is used in the Hebrew. And it says yom is a day, daily. You can't have evening and morning taking 1,000 years to do. Morning and evening don't take 1,000 years. It don't take a year to do that. It take within a 12 to 24-hour period. 12 hours of sunlight and 12 hours of darkness, and you got 24 hours total. And according to the Yom, the definition in the Hebrew, it says a 24-hour period. Like Morpheus said, there's some things, nigga, you can't get around. And that's what I did in that debate was I put nigga, that's with anybody, period. I don't give a damn if you were Hebrew or Christian, whatever your denomination is. If you read that Bible, you're going to be held with the same hoodwink. Your God didn't create the heavens and the earth in 1,000 years. He created the heavens and the earth in 24 hours, periods. Because that's what the book said. Oh, it's not literal. You're taking it literal. The creation story is literal. Niggas want to pick apart what they want once they started getting exposed. And we exposing something that's detrimental to your belief because this is your God talking. This is your God who's supposed to be perfect in his creation, displaying error in his creation. Talking about he created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. He created fruit trees and grass on the 3rd day and created the sun, moon, and stars on the 4th day. How backwards is that? The sun, moon, and stars is what compromise creation. That's what is creation. When you look up in the sky, you're gonna see a bright ass sun, a moon, and a whole bunch of stars and constellations in the background that has always been there. But they want you to believe that that was created on the 4th day. How can you sustain anything dealing on the earth plane if you don't have light, a solar source, a generator to generate heat and warmth to sustain vegetation? But your God made the mistake and created vegetation before the sun, moon, and stars. And you niggas want to talk about comic books? Niggas don't want to play them games with me, boy. At least with the OAHSPE, the sun came before the planets. That shit makes sense. Because the sun would have to be here in order for vegetation to be sustained. Can't no fruit trees grow without sun, moon, and stars? It is at least required 6 to 8 hours of sunlight for vegetation, fruits to maintain. If you take a plant out of the sun and put it in a closet with no light and leave it in there for 5 days, when you come back, it's going to be dead. And that's an objective example you could do in real time to prove the foolishness of this God of the Bible and his creation myth in his comic book. So if you're going to compare comic books, which comic book is better? The OAHSPE or the fucking Bible? You know how you read Marvel against DC? Which one is better? I think OAHSPE is a better comic book because y'all shit talking a whole bunch of bullshit at the beginning if you want to play the comic book game. But these niggas are silly, man. That's just low-hanging fruit, man. We just expose these false gods and their false followers, and we keep that shit moving. You feel me? Peace to the righteous gods. then in that book that he brought out, I showed God as an angel. Not only did you show God as an angel, you showed that it said that God was made out of ether. So ether precedes God according to that definition. You know what I mean? That shit was dope. That's 1828. You know what I mean? Before OAHSPE. There wasn't no smoke from the God. It's a clock vibes. We're logged in. It's a blood clock vibes. Exactly. Now, when God said, "Let there be light," who was he talking? Now watch this. Watch this. Watch this. We're gonna pull that up. This is interesting too. Watch this. Look what it say. Look at, because we deal with the synonymous of words. So look what one of the synonymous is. Watch this. In the beginning, God said, "Let there be light," right here, right? Let's hit that Strong's Concordance. But look, it's water already. It's water already. Water's already, God, the water was already here. Right? Before the light. But look, this is what the God is saying. You're still up there. Let me take that down real quick. Let's get that. God said, "Let there be light." Let's look up this word light. Right? Look what it say. Or, right? That's the word for light. It's a feminine noun. But look what it say right here. Sun. Uh-oh. But then it say lights, morning. You can't have a morning without a goddamn sun. But it say sun one time. Where's that reference? And there shall be the light of the morning. 2 Samuel 23:4. Right? When the sun rises. So they reference this light as the sun. Now, for anybody proclaiming that this light in the beginning is the sun, because I had some debates with some brothers said that, and I held them accountable to this argument. If this is the sun, and it's referenced only one time, but still it's there. And I play fair. If it's there, it's there. I ain't gonna sit there and be like it ain't there. So they got sun one time here. Now, let's go to let's go back to it. Let's go back to it. All right. So we got a reference to sun. Now let's go down to when he created the lights. Now look. All right here. And God said, "Let there be lights." Now this is a different Strong's Concordance right here. This one is 3974, but this one was 1961. Oh no, I mean my bad. 216. So you have light, but then you have lights with an S. Well, let's see what this come up to say. Lights. Ma'or, right? It's a masculine. It says luminaries, light. luminaries. A natural light-giving body, especially the sun or moon. That's what luminaries reference to, right? But it doesn't have much. It says light, bright one time, but it has light 18 times. All right. So those are the reference to that light. Now, here's where the sun is made. And God made two great lights. The greater light to rule the day, which would be the sun. So this light, when we press that button, this light is still saying the same thing, luminary, right here. And we clicked on what luminary is, and it's reference to sun or moon. Now, let's hold that. Let's hold that. So if this is sun, right? And then this reference in the beginning, let's say that reference sun right here. What is that saying, family? If this is referencing as sun, and this is referencing as sun, the greater light to rule the day. So this light, the greater light, this will be the sun right here. We click it. We get light, luminary. But then we click luminary, we get sun. So there should be two suns in the sky. Because this is this is a literal story of creation. So people want to switch shit around and try to say it's not literal when they want to make it comfortable. But if this is literal, which it is, it should be two suns in the sky. Let's put in two suns. This is what we should be seeing every morning, right here. This is what we should be seeing this every time the sun rises. We should see the light from day one, the first daylight, and we should see the fourth daylight right here. This is what we should be seeing every. This is what we should be seeing. This is what we should be seeing. Genesis 1:3. This is the let there be light. This is the first sun. And then Genesis 1:16 is when the second sun is made. So if we was to reference these lights as suns, it should be two suns in the sky, rising and setting. This is what we should be seeing every morning. But we don't see that. Big. But we don't see that. Someone said, oh, that's in the barrel. That's in the barrel. Oh, OAHSPE talk about ships that are like suns. Sun ships. Yes, family. Whilst we talk about sun ships out this joint. Run the bloodshot rhythm. Let's tap in with the family. It's a blood clot vibes. Watch this. 86 nonsense. 86. Watch this. right, check this out. Show you how Jehovah's ships can look like suns. Watch this for me. So watch this. Watch this in the blood clot, right? Book of Sue, Son of Jehovah, chapter 2, verse 9. Watch this. When the ship came to the bridge and stopped to take in the plane of the whirling earth. Now, the ship right here they're referring to is a UFO, a spaceship, right? Sue said, a light, you gods, and at once as high as the moon and as bright as the sun, the illuminated ship stood to overawee the self-gods, warrior kings, and murderers of the earthborn, whose plentiful souls in chaos polluted heaven. You see that? What did it say? Bright as the sun, the illuminated ship stood. Bright as the sun, the illuminated ship stood. What do we see right here? Bright as the sun, the illuminated ship stood. You niggas is watching a ship and don't even know it. You thinking it's a second sun, but the OAHSPE is revealing that Jehovah's high-raised angels travel what? In ships bright as the sun. It says, bright as the sun, the illuminated ship stood to overawee the self-gods, warrior kings, and murderers of the earthborn. See that? See that? Look at that. Oh, look, it's two suns. Nah, nigga. That's one of Jehovah's chariots. You just ain't know it. You just ain't know it. What the scripture say? Bright as the sun, and the illuminated ship stood. Bright as the sun, and the illuminated ship stood. See how that worked? See, that ain't got nothing to do with no flat earth or nothing like that. Y'all niggas will take this shit somewhere else. Ain't even. See that? So Jehovah has ships like suns. You dig? Yeah, OAHSPE cold-blooded. And that's just one verse out of many more I could pull talking about starships. Chariots that look like suns. Let's see what else I can muster. Asu wasn't the tree of life. Asu meaning to say, Asu was earthman, like primitive man, first man, desensitized, a man with no knowledge of self. You know what I mean? It's like a baby in its first state of existence, crawling on his belly. But we all stem from that primitive, one time, now extinct hominids. And then the OAHSPE's bugs. I'll get it though. Let me get some of this beautiful sun ships. Let's get this one. I got another one for you, a starship. Get this one. 7. Let's go to Book of Sue 7. You know what I mean? Keep the vibes of Guan. Chapter 7 now we have to go to. Right? Let's go to chapter 7. Watch this. Show you how OAHSPE reveals what we would see in the cosmos as abnormal activity. Suns and two suns. Oh, what's going on? No. Ain't no confusion over here. Ain't no confusion over here. When it comes to these things. Well, let's read. So it came to pass in Etheria that the goddess Nesta provided an Aravanga, an Etherian ship, resolving to come as commander-in-chief. Su, the god Su, advised God, saying, make of this matter a great testimony in your heavens. Send therefore your messengers into all parts and to your lords on the earth, inviting all people to be present to witness the ascent of Jehovah's brides and bridegrooms. So what's taking place here is a harvest. Every 400 years, there's a harvest of everybody who was born on the earth and progressed in the atmosphere of the earth and now are graduating to go to Etheria. It's like going to college. And in the OAHSPE, it gives props to the female. Look at this, the goddess. The goddess is an Aravanga. Look what it say. Goddess Nesta provided an Aravanga, an Etherian ship. See that? You got females running the show out here. But look at this. Here's the catcher. God did as commanded, and on the day of the appearance of Nesta, daughter of Jehovah, see that? In her what? Sonship in the firmament. Stop right there. Look how the daughter of Jehovah pulling up, yo. Look at that. The daughter of Jehovah in her sonship. What does it say? Sonship. So when you see these double suns in the sky, you're like, oh, look, there's two suns in the sky. It's a sonship. You don't even know about these things if it wasn't for the OAHSPE. It's letting you know that they got ships that look like suns coursing the firmament. Huh? What did it say? The appearance of Nesta, daughter of Jehovah, in her sonship. Now, some silly niggas that say, oh, look, Jehovah got daughters, you dum-dums. Jehovah references male and female, the product of his creation, sons and daughters. It's not like the nigga got a lawn and he had children. For the simple, low-hanging fruit-minded niggas. So the daughter of Jehovah. So they want to talk about women in the OAHSPE. Look, you got females driving sunships, nigga, pulling up in big Bentley sunships, Maserati sunships. You know what I mean? Pulling up to the harvest. You know what I mean? She's coming to look. They coming to witness the harvest, the ascent of Jehovah's brides and bridegrooms. And she pulling up in the big body sonship to bear witness. Sonship. See that? There is no terminology of a sonship in the Bible. Here's a sonship. When you see two suns in the sky and you're wondering, well, damn, how is that even possible? There's two suns in the sky. We only got one sun. Jehovah's like, nah, nigga, we got sunships out here. Just in case. Let me let y'all little niggas know on earth that we got sunships out here. So when we pull up in our sunships, you niggas don't get paranoid when you see a approaching sun looking like your solar system. See that? The OAHSPE is preparing us for these things because they're already appearing. And you got people who have no clue of what these are. They lost. They don't know what to say about this, but we do. We got something to say about it. Y'all got speculation to say about it, nigga. We got actual facts that, look, there's sunships running around in the firmament. Look what this verse said here. Great was the rejoicing and the manifestation of the light when the sonship came into full view. Huh? Descending like a whirl on fire. Nigga, do I need to say any goddamn more? Do I need to say any more? Look at that. When the sonship came into full view, descending like a world on fire. Ain't that what this look like? Ain't that what this look like? A sonship descending like. Can you imagine if this motherfucking was in motion descending at a fast rate? Yeah. See that? So when you see two suns in the sky, know for surety, Jehovah Data for pull up in the sonship to bear witness of what going with us on the earth. Oh, these niggas done passed through these regions. Let me scoop my sonship down. Let me descend like a world on fire on these niggas. Put a little fear, let them know what the higher heavens got going on. Let me read that from the top again. Look what it said. Great was the rejoicing and the manifestation of the light when the sonship came into full view, descending like a world on fire. And when she passed Shinvat and was fully within the earth's vortex, the enthusiasm of the people knew no bound. These niggas was like, yeah, buddy, we about to graduate. They're about to get picked up. These niggas, this is what's going on. Every 400 years, there's an ascension into the higher heavens, Ethereum. And these Etherians will come down in their sunships to get the graduated hosts to take them to Ethereum. And we gonna see these ships because they're gonna descend down to a point that's gonna be visible. What did the verse say? What did the verse say? Right here. Right here. And when she passed Shinvat, for those who don't know, Shinvat is the border of the vortex, and was fully within the Earth's vortex, atmosphere. Fully in, now, if it's fully in the atmosphere, nigga, we can see it. It's like this, fully in the atmosphere. We can see it. Right? So the ascension will be televised with your own eyes. See that? But again, so the reason of me bringing this up is to show you that the OAHSPE talks about sonships. But in the Bible, it said that in the beginning, God said, let there be light. And we found the reference to where light is reference to sun. And then we found in Genesis 1:16, God created the greater light for the day. And we reference that, we see that luminary is reference to sun or moon. So according to the Genesis account, it should be two suns setting and rising every morning. But we don't see that. We see one sun and Jehovah Data pull up in she starship just to say, hey, and pull off my bedroom. But yeah. Give me a one in the chat if y'all getting this understanding family. Easy work. Easy work. It's a blood clot vibes. The Bible's creation story and creation, according to documented scholars, is 3761 BC. That's when God created the heavens and the earth. And 3761 BC, during the Nakata period of the real history. And it's supposed to be the year. Now, here's another thing. It's supposed to be the year, what is it? Damn. 5874. From the creation, from when God said, let there be light, we 5,000, what is it? 5,784 years in. We're not even on the 6th day yet. Man is not even created. We should even be here. Man was created on the 6th day, according to their calendar, which would be the 6,000th year. It ain't even been 6,000 years. So what we doing here? It should just be animals running around because we still in the 5,000th year of creation. The 6th day of creation ain't came yet. Man was created on the 6th day, right? According to the Bible. And according to the calendar, it is the year 5784. That's the year. So man ain't even created yet. But we here though. Daryl Cosmon, what's good? What you talking? And I said, go forth and partake of all that is on the earth, but do not partake of the tree of life, lest ye lay. Oh, yeah, the tree of life is referring to, the tree of life is your reproductive system, just to make it plain and simple. The reproductive system is the tree of life. So when the angels who clothed themselves with the elements of the earth and was walking among Asu as flesh and blood beings, they was restricted and told not to reproduce with the hominids or primitive man. And the angels were tempted and interbred, and the reproductive system produced a new seed called man, or what we would consider Homo sapien, thinking man that's able to comprehend and think outside of the primitive Homo erectus state of just, it's like a gorilla it's like trying to tell a gorilla about the cosmos and the sun, moon, and stars in about 24 hours make a day. He ain't gonna comprehend that. See what I'm saying? So OAHSPE is deep, man. It's real. It's real. You know what I mean? Challenging. You know what I mean? If you investigate, it's like, damn, it'll challenge your thoughts, make you investigate. So if we have kids, you partake in the tree of life, being a procreator, exactly. And the more kids you have, the more bound you are in the realm, the more bondage you have to your children, because your kids is your lineage. You know what I mean? Your kingdom is going to be your lineage. You know what I mean? All our ancestors are forefathers. It's a lineage that you come down. And this lineage is continued in the heavens in spirit. You don't think great-great-great-grandma who done passed on want to know what's going on with his grandson or granddaughter? Especially when they cross over in spirit? Especially when you cross over and you wake up and become conscious that you were aware in your garden, and you talking to your garden, you telling your garden like, damn, yo, I wonder where my grandmother or where my mother or my dad at. Since where they at? And they be like, oh, they over here. I'm gonna get to see him. Yeah, you're gonna get to see him. Just calm down. You got a long time here in the realm to see everybody. Just be acquainted first, and then all your questions are gonna get answered. So you have a whole lineage on the earth plane leading into the spirit realm. That is your lineage, your inheritance, your kingdom. Your heavenly kingdom may be filled of nothing but your hairs. Yes, family. That's what you was explaining to do. Yeah, man, this shit deep. This shit deep, yo. The tree of life is the reproductive system. The male penis and the female vagina. That's the tree of life. That's what continued the gene pool. Shout out Jeremiah Judah in the building. I see you. See you in the building, King. People's champ. Over there knocking niggas out. Cosmonian in the building. Peace to the righteous God. I see you, King. Yeah. What'd you say, Tabitha? When the Catholic Church speaks on purgatory, can OAHSPE support such claims? Well, in one breath, purgatory, you know what I mean, is like purging from evil, purging from self. You know what I mean? So there's some validity to that. But of course, you know, the false gods are turning to something else. Let's look it up. Let's make it make sense. Purgatory, in Roman Catholic doctrine, a place or state of sufferings inhabited by the souls of sinners who are expiating their sins before going to heaven. Having the quality of cleansing or purifying. Yep. Even in the Quran, it talks about hell is not eternal. It's a purge. It's a cleansing. You know what I mean? A place of redemption. So all these evil ass, it's almost like a jail. You know, in jail, some niggas get purged. I know a lot of niggas that came home from jail and became good niggas. Them niggas was evil as hell, doing wicked things before they went in. They do a 10-year bid, come home, and these niggas is Muslim, practicing Muslims. Them niggas ain't nothing like how they used to be when they went in. They got purged of their evil while they was inside. So sometimes jail being in hell can be a place for redemption. It just depends on how you move in the county. If you want to be out there banging in there, next you know you get jukes up, you know what I mean? That's your fate. But if you go in there, do your time, stay out the way, come home, change man. Simple as that, aya. You know what I mean? But yes, family, I just want to hop on for a minute, yo. I gotta make some runs. I got some shit to do. You know how we do. So I'm up out of here, family. Your boy Sila Shalom. I'm gonna see y'all in the Creator Gang chat. You know how we do. So your boy Sila Shalom is gonna salute. Until next time, family. We up out of here. Deuces. It's the vibes. It's the blood clot vibes.